Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Educational AD Podcast, our special new series. Before we get going, as always, we want to give a shout out to all of our sponsors. So please stay with us. We'll be back in 3 minutes. Take a listen to these sponsors. If you're not using them after the interview, go and visit them. I'm telling you, you're going to be glad you did. Here we go. We want to say thank you to our good friends from Gipper for their support. Your students are on social media, and if they're not seeing content that celebrates their accomplishments and promotes your program, you're missing out on a great opportunity. Go to Gipper.com. It's used and trusted by over 20,000 colleges and high schools. And whether it's a small social media graphic to celebrate a big win or an entire newsletter to help promote your program, the folks at Gipper are going to have you creating world-class content in seconds. Go to Gipper.com to get started. That's Gipper.com. We want to thank Vital Signs Wall of Fame. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school record boards for all the teams, for all the different events, or show off your school's Hall of Fame, go to Vital Signs Wall of Fame and take a look at their interactive touch screen. That's right, touch screen video consoles. It's also a great way to showcase your unique history and brag about your school's proudest moments. The website is vitalsignswalloffame.com. We want to say thank you to Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. Now, my assistant AD, along with thousands of others, got his master's degree from Ohio University, and it was a great experience, very affordable, just 20 months, totally online. And while you're completing your master's degree, you're also completing 11 NIAAA leadership training courses at no extra charge. For more information, just go to ohio.edu/info/MAA, the Ohio University Masters in Athletic Administration. We want to say thank you to Home Campus. Home Campus is a platform you're going to use every single day, whether it's scheduling or rosters, results. Their student athlete eligibility and clearance platform alone is worth the price. To get signed up, just go to homecampus.com. That's it, homecampus.com. We'd like to say thank you to Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and you can schedule a live web demo to see their score tables and their score boards in action. Probably one of the best purchases I ever made. Go to sidelineinteractive.com. Schedule that live web demo today. We'd like to thank Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, but as an athletic director, I made sure that our school was a Huddle school. And our coaches just loved the tools that Huddle provided. Our student athletes loved the videos, and our parents loved the streaming, but there is so much more. Go to huddle.com, join the 8 million users. Turn your school into a Huddle school. We want to say thank you to Snap Raise. Have you ever spent weeks and weeks with a fundraiser and been disappointed in the results? Well, those days are gone. Go to snapraise.com. It's hands down the best online fundraiser out there. We use it at our school with great success. Our coaches love it. Our parents love it because it works. Go to snapraise.com. You can check out their other great platforms, but if you're looking for a fundraiser, you just found it. You'll find it at snapraise.com. We want to thank Hometown Ticketing. Hometown is the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. And whether it's more support, more security, or more customization, the Hometown team is here to help you make the best online ticketing solution. Go to hometownticketing.com. It's digital ticketing that offers more. And we want to thank Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. Athletic directors already get feedback, but usually it's from a very small group that just wants to complain. Athletic Surveys is going to connect you to that group so you can hear their concerns, hopefully address them, but they're also going to connect you to the 98% that supports your program. And having that type of data is incredibly valuable, especially when you're visiting with a frustrated parent, maybe a principal, or even your school board. Go to athleticsurveys.com. They're going to create a custom survey that lets you take the pulse of everybody in your program. It's athleticsurveys.com. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Educational AD. Joining us today is again a very good friend, Mike Ellson. If you're new to the profession, you might not have come across Mike's name, so let me tell you a little bit about him. He is a Hall of Fame athletic director in our national organization, the NIAAA. Longtime athletic director and coach at Christ Presbyterian Academy in Tennessee. In his spare time, he's the executive director for the Tennessee Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. He's a member of the Professional Development Academy for NIAAA. He's a published author. He's also on the national faculty and probably about 6 dozen other things. But Mike Ellson, welcome back to our special Thursday series that we're still looking for a name to. So, put your crack team of TIAAA staff on that. See if they can come up with a good name for this series. Okay.
Yeah, we'll need to talk to Kelly Fish and get some help from her to help us. But Jake, thank you for your friendship, and shout out to you for receiving the Bruce D. Whitehead Distinguished Service Award at the national conference. So well deserved. And again, the countless lives that you've touched through your podcast, through your books, and then just the way you go reach out to others. You truly are giving back to our profession, and it's a blessing to watch.
Well, again, thanks, Mike. As I've said before, you weren't the reason for the podcast. That's Don Baker and Josh Matthews up in Georgia, but you are the reason for all of the books. So I thank you. Hopefully, the people that bought the books have enjoyed them. As I say, you can thank Mike or blame him, but I enjoy doing it. I'm retired now. I've got the time, and it's just something I love, and I guess people seem to enjoy. So, um, this is your second appearance on this series. And once again, if you're new, these are shorter segments where we have some real professionals, men and women who have lived and continue to speak the language of education-based athletics, coming on to share their heart and their head just a little bit. So, Mike, I'm just going to turn it over to you here. What do you have for our listeners this week on the Educational AD podcast?
Well, Jake, just a couple of ideas about the word or tied to the word support. And the media, if you think about it, in most, if not every community supports the sport of football. If you're here in the US, it's FOOTBALL. And if you're overseas, there's a U that's thrown in there. So whether it's our American football or soccer, whatever it might be, the media supports those sports. That's going to drive, crowd attendance. Same thing pretty much with the sport of basketball. But what about the other sports? And so I wanted to give an example of where I felt support. I was our girls' head basketball coach for 3 years and coached our boys for 12. And the difference in crowd support was incredible. And you'd think in Tennessee, with the legacy of head coach Pat Summit, that we would have had great women's basketball support, but it wasn't that great. People, if you had a doubleheader and start 6 o'clock girls, 7:30 boys, everybody'd start showing up about 7:15 for the boys' game. And my wife taught fourth grade for 15 years, and we collaborated. And I'm like, Mary, what about, let's see, how can we get some families to our games? And so what she did, it was incredible. She rallied the other fourth grade teachers. They all talked to their students, sent emails home to their families, and they would come to the girls' game. And they would get there at 5:45 when the girls were warming up. And the synergy and the enthusiasm behind the girls' bench during our games. And most of the time it was home, but there were a few times where we had parents from those fourth grade families with no high school girl team affiliation. They would drive an hour, hour and a half to come and support our girls. And it makes me chill even thinking about it at this moment in time. And that was 15 plus years ago. But for the takeaway there is not only, the support that Mary and her classmate or teaching mates and students gave us, but it was the fact of the value of relationships. So as an AD, encourage your high school coaches to go read to the elementary school students, to go build a relationship. and then invite them to the games, no matter what sport it is, so that they can come and cheer you on. And so it gave those fourth grade families a purpose. And they're like, they would have been drowned out in a boys basketball game, if you will, because the crowd was already huge. But with the gym pretty much empty, they made it feel half full, if not all the way full, behind our bench in their support. So that's one of the things that I want to encourage everybody to think, it's kind of thinking out of the box, if you will. Another thing, Jake, that I was thinking about as we prepped for this conversation, we had our soccer team go and support volleyball. So they would cancel practice early. And this may be happening a lot more than it did back 15, 20 years ago. I even watched our football coaches through the years in an independent school. You got to rally around each other. So I would watch our football coaches end their practice early, no matter who the opponent on Friday night, big region game we might win, whatever it might be, win big. They would cancel practice early and they would go stand on the sideline of a soccer match. Students from other sports going to walk along a golf course and watch our golfers, which you can't really cheer out on a golf course, but those student athletes, they know that you're there. And even going to get teachers, classroom teachers, history, science, English, math, whatever it might be, and saying, hey, let's go support some of your students and let them see you outside of your normal classroom lecture where you can see something they truly, truly love. And so I just thinking about the extra opportunities we have to build support for maybe those teams that aren't getting it on a consistent basis.
Well, I love every single one of those. We actually did a couple of those. And again, you and I were both at, similar schools, private faith-based schools that were K through 12. So you've got that built in fourth grade, fifth grade group you can reach out to. But it doesn't take that much, let's say, extra work to do something, if you're just at a standalone high school, to reach out to the local middle school, reach out to the local primary school and do those same types of things. How much does it cost to get a T-shirt printed up that says, I think you guys were the CPA was the Lions, right? Okay.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
That says, junior Lions, we were the Falcons and different mascots, but we just tagged junior on there. And we say you get a free ticket. Well, the little kids got in free anyway, but you're also get a free T-shirt as long as you bring your parents. And so we got the parent admission, and the kids were there. And you're absolutely right. It just completely changes the dynamic in the gymnasium or the soccer field. And you can see the kids down the field, even the kids on the other team. They're looking up, what's all that noise? Because they're used to playing in front of pretty much 6 or 7 people in the bleachers.
Right. And one other thing, Jake, to think about with support is how are we as athletic administrators being intentional about connecting our coaches on our staffs? So one example that I watched happen was every Thursday morning, our head football coach would host a Bible study in his office and invite all of the head coaches from all the other teams to come and join him. And I thought, wow, what a great way. And whether it's for us in a Christian school, of course, we're going to utilize the Bible, but looking at your screen, I'm seeing all these great books. And why not do, a book study on some book, whether it's your book or Scott Jarvis or John Gordon or whatever it might be, and bring the coaches together to build that authentic relationship. And then the outcome out of that is that those coaches are all going to rally and support each other. So felt like, I was fortunate to get to witness that happening, and to be able to share that example is a joy for me at this stage in my career.
You're absolutely right. Whether it's, a Bible study, a devotion, just fellowship, bringing those coaches together, um, it helps. I think everybody has good intentions, coaches and ADs, et cetera, but it's sometimes you'll have a coach, and it might be a young coach or it might be a veteran coach that I use the expression goes rogue and kind of forgets, our schools why, our athletic departments why, and having those regular meetings is a great way, as you said, to be intentional. Just a reminder, hey, this is how we roll. Okay. You mentioned some great authors. I got to throw this out. If you're not familiar with Alan Williams and his book, Teammates Matter, um, I think it came out probably maybe 10, 11 years ago, but it's just a great, great read. Very easy read. And I guarantee you, I will bet you a milkshake. I know we're not supposed to gamble here, that your coaches are going to love that book. And if there's any way you can bring him to your school, I know, Mike, you had him come to your school as well.
Yeah.
Just a great, great experience for our coaches, our kids, and for our parents.
Yeah, and the value of good books. Great books are a connector for all of us. And again, look at the great books that you've had and all the different authors of athletic directors that you've had contribute to those books. And it inspires you to read more books. So that brings common language, common heart, common mindset. So, so critical. So, and the other thing I would share, as we're thinking about books, Jake, is we had this exercise called the Hearts exercise. And when I taught as an adjunct at Belmont University a couple of years ago, I would use this because I wanted our students to get to know each other. So in exercises, we're thinking about mentoring our coaches. You tell it's 4 parts. You tell your early childhood, recent events, public self, and private self. It's awesome to do on Zoom or on building out a PowerPoint, or you can do it on a poster board. But as an athletic director, my coaches need to know my story. Where did I come from? What was my early childhood? What are things affecting me, recently? Who do I want you to see, like even right now on this podcast, my public self? And then what are some things behind the scenes that maybe I might struggle with or that help strengthen me? And so I think there's so much power in story that connects us. And then if people know your story, if I know your story and you're coaching football, and I know you're from Oregon and you've been in independent schools and all that, but if you're coaching football tomorrow night, I know your story, we have a great relationship, I'm going to want to go cheer for you. Again, not against the opponent, but I want to cheer for you because of that connection. So that little hearts exercise we have found to have a big time impact.
Well, I love that, and you just made me think. People will come up to me and say, "Oh, I love the podcast," and some will some will say, I just fast forward through the. I think they're going to say the ads, but they say I just fast forward through the front part and listen to the toolbox. And I tell them, well, hey, the toolbox is great, but that's why I do the podcast is the front part, the stories. You want to get to know these people and hear about, as you said, their challenges, their victories, their defeats, how they came back. Again, I know I've said this before. You, my friend, have got to sit down and write your story. That's a book that I and I know many others would purchase. Mike, always great to hang out with you. And for our listeners, you have a tremendous resource. So, Mike, I'm about to blow up your email and your cell phone. How do our listeners reach out and get a hold of you so they can pick your brain and learn some of the lessons that you've learned over a tremendous career in athletics that is still going strong, by the way?
Thank you, Jake. And it's just a privilege to be able to give back now because so many gave to me throughout my entire career. But I love talking to ADs. You can email me, Mike, ELLSON 46 at gmail.com, or feel free to call or text me on my cell, 615 406 9944.
Well, Mike, thanks again for sharing with all of our listeners. Mike Ellson, Tennessee Interscholastic Athletic Administrator, Executive Director, and also a member of the NIAAA's Professional Development Academy and the National Faculty. All the best as we continue to experience a great spring sports season in 2025. And we're going to look forward to the next time we have you back on the podcast.
Thank you, Jake. It's an honor to be here.
Oh, the honors are, sir. For listeners, it's an honor that you're listening to us. And just a reminder, we upload the Zoom recordings of all of our interviews to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. We do this just about every day. We try to share stories. Make sure you listen to the stories along with some best practices. So come back again on the next episode of the Educational AD Podcast. Mike Ellson, what a pro. Make sure you reach out to Mike, add him to your network, and don't be shy about picking his brain. Tremendous resource. Speaking of reaching out, reach out to these sponsors if you're not already using them. I used every single one of these sponsors. They are great. You're going to love them too. We want to thank Athletic Surveys. That's athleticsurveys.com. We want to say thanks to Hometown Ticketing. You'll find them at hometownticketing.com. Vital Signs Wall of Fame, vitalsignswalloffame.com. Home Campus, you'll find them at homecampus.com. Gipper, Gipper.com. Ohio University's online masters, you'll find them at ohio.edu/info/MAA. We want to say thank you to Huddle, that's huddle.com, SnapRaise, snapraise.com, and Sideline Interactive, that's sidelineinteractive.com. Don't forget to come back for another episode of the Educational AD Podcast. Hope you have a wonderful new year.